At the Surry County Tractor Show and Tractor Pull in Surry County, Virginia. It's a beautiful Saturday here. It's only about 75 degrees. Here's the tram that's taking everybody to the festivities, but I think we're just going to walk it.
Beautiful day. Perfect.
Beautiful. Yeah, check this out.
Don't walk in front of Matt. Don't walk.
Wow, look at this. What do you think this used to operate?
You need to go to the museum for some stuff. Some nice stuff.
And this is probably from about the 40s or the 50s. Those gigantic gears there. You don't see construction like that anymore today. Really nice. Here we go. The mission of the Chippokes Steam and Engine Gas Show. To promote an appreciation for antique engines, tractors, machinery related to farm life and forestry production, so that these historic resources will continue to be restored and conserved for future generations. Education and enjoyment. So true, so true. Look at this tractor. Huh?
You understand that works? You don't pause a minute.
Look at this. Look at this beautiful farmall.
Matt, should I crank it up?
Oh yeah, look at that. Go ahead, turn it. Go ahead. Oh, that's funny. Look, you can actually see when you turn it, that actually turns the engine directly. A generator there. No rubber on the wheels. Better grips. Very, very nice.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's got a very interesting steering mechanism. Check that out, everybody. Goes right on the top. And then to the gears up here, and that just turns the two front wheels. Very basic. But I'm sure very easy to maintain as well. It's an Allison Chalmers tractor. This one's probably a little bit later. The stack on there. You got the battery in a secured box so it doesn't corrode when it gets wet. I like the seat on this. This one's obviously been fully restored. So you got some kind of power box on the back. Rear light, probably for when you're plowing. Let's see what that gauge is. That gauge is for amps. Very typical for this time. I'm guessing this is probably 30s or 40s. Very nice. Look at that engine. Beautifully restored. How old do you figure this one is? Turn of the century? Oh wow, look at that. The gigantic wheels on that. No rubber on these either. Sure, these make it very good for traction, especially in the fields. Be a bumpy ride, but that really isn't the point with these. You want to get as much traction as possible. Let's see. So you got the brake there. Not sure what all those. That's probably the gear switch right there. Might be like the handbrake there. One thing that's interesting to note about this is look how far away any gauges are. That's a good 6 to 12 feet away.
This is 1990.
Let me see.
1990 from.
Yeah, that's probably when it was. You mean 1890?
That's what he bought.
This was when it was restored. A lot of these have the plaques. This was owned and restored by F.C. Brown in 1999. So this has obviously been used. A lot of these tractors are probably still in use today. A lot of farms in this area. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. Look at this farm all.
Where's your mom go?
Not sure. Take a look at that. This one's got a date. It's a 1941 McCormick Farm all.
See how the steering's advanced?
Yeah, and this one, looks like there's actually a steering box on this one. Yeah.
Gearbox in the front.
Got the box on the front, where the other one was just a couple of gears. That was it. It's got this huge flag in the back. Look at that seat with the huge spring. Try to give you as much comfort as possible. And again, I'm sure that this was a pretty bumpy ride altogether, but amazing tractors. Love that. If you're not one of my grandkids, please stay off my tractor.
Hey, give me my sign.
I like that. I like that sign.
I had to put that on there because a lot of people put their kids on.
And here we got a few of the older lawn style tractors. Yeah, I like that.
Kind of like my old international. Feel like that.
Oh yeah, look at the lights on that. That's cool.
Feel like my international.
These are probably 50s and 60s. See the engine. Oh, take a look at that. This actually has a Kohler engine on it. It's interesting.
Hey, yo, Kohler.
Get right here.
See that sign on here? It says, am I going to get sell my tractor? See that, man? Put that on that tractor.
They do
Well,
it.
that's fine. They don't teach them anything in school nowadays.
No, they don't. They don't care. They want the kids to have fun regardless. This old Ford 120. This is a 69. This is 1 year newer than our old Cub Cadet, which was a 68. Nice big seat on there too. Almost mint condition. You got the choke and the idle speed right there. Oh, and Redneck Rickham should like these. Got a couple Speed X here. Look at that. There's a larger Speed X. Looks like it's a 24 horsepower, and this looks like it's a 17. Really, really nice. All right, they're going to be doing the tractor pull in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. Yeah, they're conditioning it right now. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Here we got some hit and miss engines. These only fire like on every other cycle. They hit or they fire every other cycle, right? These are very prominent back in the early 1900s, you know, even up to the 40s. On farms they used to use these to power everything from milling stones to washers to pretty much anything you could think of. Farmer would use this in the field to maybe mill some grain and then bring the engine back to his wife at night, and she would use it to do the laundry. Would power some type of laundry machine. Yeah. Never seen one run quite that fast. I guess that is still technically hit and miss. Very cool. Not exactly sure what this is. Is this a log splitter? If one of you guys on YouTube can tell me exactly what this machine might be. Almost looks like an old log splitter. Very cool though. You guys can see it's got some kind of teeth there. Let's see. Looks like you would use one of the hit and miss engines with it. Yeah, not exactly sure what that is.
I think that's a silent copper. I think it's a cut silent. Oh yeah? I think that's what that is. I think it belongs to the museum here.
Ah, very interesting.
Small belt. Yeah, it's like those other.
Very, very cool. Here are a couple other hit and miss engines. These look even older. These may be pre-restoration. That's why they're not running today. Oh, here we go. So he's going to start one for us. Very, very useful engines back in the day. Looks like that one needs a little more fuel.
Doesn't need much, huh?
No.
A pipe full of that. You use oil and gas combination? No, sure, yeah.
See if we can get this one going.
Coleman Lantern fuel, actually.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Use like Coleman Lantern fuel. interesting too. Look at the little fuel filter on top.
Cylinder oil. Dripping on top of the ground. See the back of it. Piston right there.
Wow. Really cool. It's really neat. Here we come to the blacksmith shop.
Hey, that sawmill is really neat to see. I think they just turned her off. I apologize. They'll be doing it again. There's lots of wood. And the tractor pulls good. I kind of wish I was just here.
Hey, how you doing? Look at all these different tools. These horseshoes they made.
Railroad spike knives.
Except the knives. Those are really neat. Made those out of old railroad spikes.
Railroad tie here, so nice.
There's an old railroad tie right there. Oh, check this out. He's forging one right now.
The more often you heat it and beat on it, the harder it gets, right?
He didn't beat it. Get it hot and hit it hard. That's their motto.
And how many times you gotta repeat that?
Depends on how fast you work.
That is really cool.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, and 1 and 2 keys.
A few more of these beautiful old tractors.
Unless you have passed the test, you don't get to mess with these tractors.
I just had to spin the left wheel.
And in just a few minutes, they're going to be starting up with the tractor pulls. Oh yeah, look at this. Well, here they are prepping for the pull. You can see one of the tractors right there getting warmed up. And they just had this steamroller over here. If you guys can see that, that was just getting the track ready. So probably just a few more minutes. Here comes that same tractor. They have to get weighed in to determine what class they're in. Have you seen the other ones get weighed in yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they've been doing this for a while. They get on the scales right there. Yeah, put them on the scales right there to find out exactly where they need to be. It's the one that was smoking a lot a few minutes ago. Looks like it's cleared up now. And looks like this one's going to be next. Yeah, beautifully redone though. Take a look at the front grille. Looks mean. So he's about to go on. They stay on for just about 10 seconds and then they're done. Alright, here they come. Take a look at these two. Them moving that little piece, that little weight there. Looks like they're still resurfacing. See, that little plow is resurfacing the field. Comes the next contestant. With a nice old John Deere. Looks like he's going to get weighed again. Saw him up on the scales earlier. Another contestant number 2.
See, that's a lighter tractor. It's got weight in the front. It's bring them up. Weight in the front and back. One coming up. up, I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately that one wasn't too good. Did much better this time. He did that run earlier. He didn't even get half this far.
John Walensky is on the track with his 1935 John Deere Model A. 5,500 mile weight class, last contestant. John Walensky just into a halt, 884 feet, 4.08 inches. John Walensky, 484. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now starting the 5,000 pound weight class.
They're up in the weight class, so these tractors are just slightly larger. Did pretty good. Another Oliver tractor. And kind of a weak start there. He's using the torque rather than the horsepower to pull it. It's a different strategy, but sometimes it helps. Slow and steady sometimes does win the race. I'm starting to lose it here a little bit. See those front tires coming up.
Okay, Barnes Battles has come to rest at 192 feet, 5.12 inches. Okay, John Boleski, starting his run in 1935, John Deere Model 8.
It's that beautiful old John Deere. Well, taking a break from the tractor pull, they just started this machine here, which I believe is called a hay baler. Feeding it in that end, and it comes out here. Yeah, it's really cool. It's chain driven. That gigantic chain right there.
Made right here. Made right here in Suffolk down the road. And before this machine was discovered, guess how they get the peanuts off the vines? By hand. And then you spend the better part of your winter shelling these, then getting the kernel back and using them to cut. That's nothing to do that one. And using these for your seed, part of them, for your seed for the next year. Here's what you would plant for the next year.
I look at that, it actually removes the seeds. Very cool. Yeah.
Hey, you know what the country produces?
Removes all the peanuts from the hay. Very interesting. Saying it's actually made right here.
Who else makes all the other stuff that's over here?
Here we are on the tram.
That's the way to do it.
Next time I gotta remember to bring a hat, because even with the very, very sunny. You're only gonna have to walk.
We're heading down to some of the other areas, including the mansion.
Oh, I see. Where is that? Y'all can walk that. Oh, you got no further to go. Oh, okay. Down around Whaleyville? Gates County? Okay.
I don't know what kind of car it is. Plymouth.
Okay, now we're entering the agriculture part of the plantation. It's farmed leased by a local farmer, and he can grow any of the historic crops, which are cotton, soybeans, peanuts, grains, or corn. And that's the only restriction they put on him. He splits the profits with the state. That's how he pays his lease. Part of the agreement when the Stewarts gave the plantation to the state was that it would be farmed forever. We've been farmed here since 1626. We know for sure, and we think it dates back even further than that. But we have tax receipts that date back to 1626. They of course grew tobacco back then, but after the 1700s they didn't grow much more tobacco. Over here on this side, we'll come back down around, but the slave cabins are along here. We call this Quarter Lane. Number of slaves on the plantation has varied from 77 to 40, with a higher number coming in the 1700s when they were farming tobacco. The middle one, second one, will someday be an exhibit. Two families would have lived in that little house, and that annex would not have been there. The fireplace is a double fireplace, and there would have been a family on each side of it. They would have grown a garden to supplement their food that they got from the Joneses, or the Powells, or whoever happened to own them at that point. These barns, the oldest is the first one. We call it the apple barn. There's also the remnants of two stills in there. Albert Carroll Jones grew fruit, apples and peaches and wine, grapes, and made goodies out of his fruit, shall we say, for the children's sake. The middle barn was the dairy barn, and the third barn was the horse barn, and this was a corn crib. Inside, yeah, you can bring. This is a bring your own horse barn. You can ride, but you got to bring your own horse. We don't provide horses. Now we're showing you how they plowed before the tractor. We've got a team of mules, and this other fellow has a team of draft horses. Oh, and there's Mr. Fox again. That's Parker the Fox. He's the state park's mascot. He's going to put out the light. The mules are actually better draft animals because they're a lot steadier than a horse is, and stronger. See, that horse is getting kind of excited. These old fellas are in harness and they're doing better. Those mules don't get excited. Something's biting here. Now we're getting up by the mansion. There's a lot to see up here. We're doing tours of the mansion today. It takes maybe 30 minutes. Maybe not that long today. We also have the kitchen open and someone in there doing demonstrations. On down, the next building is the gift shop and where the old Packard is. And then this building that's back behind the others is the carriage house. We have an old carriage that goes back there at least to the 1800s, and it may even date back earlier. Lots to see up here in this area. If you want to get off here and see everything, we'll be back around about a half an hour to pick you up.
So we just left the mansion. Unfortunately, we couldn't film in there. I'm not sure if we can film in here, but we'll take a look. This is where the last gentleman, Mr. Stewart, stored his car, a Packard, which is still in there apparently.
Tuna salad, crab salad.
Sure.
Generally, when I start a fire, I start at about 6:30 or 7. And
I guess this is the kitchen.
About 9:30 or 10. And then, like I say, it's just constant feeding the fire. But children would
Got like a loft area up there.
Ask if you can. Little boys would have been in here until they were old enough to handle a hoe or a shovel, then they'd been out in the field. But little girls would have stayed in here because it would.
Here's kind of a wider view of the mansion. I'm sorry about the short footage in the kitchen house. They are very strict about what can be photographed here, and they don't want any inside of the buildings photographed. But you can see back here that this area here was actually added on in the 50s. It's 2 extra bedrooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen apparently right at the end. And then the rest of the house there was built in around 1854. See what looks like there is a well there, but that's actually pretty modern. Up until probably the 60s, this house didn't even have running water. The well is actually at another house about a half a mile away, so they actually had to drag water back this way. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it too much, We see this big pile of wood. Well, in here is the kitchen. That's where we just were. I guess I could film this a little bit, but right there on the right is the fireplace, and it was open hearth cooking, so it was really just cooking over a fireplace. It's a beautiful old building, built right around the same time as the house was, maybe just a couple of years later. You can see some of the really nice features of these buildings. That's more modern. And I thought we were going to be able to see where they kept the car, but apparently that's blocked off. I think the car is kept right straight there where there's a wall now. But yeah, this was kind of a guest house slash kitchen. Here we come to the gift shop. Really beautiful. Look at those old barn doors. Absolutely beautiful. The front of the gift shop. This is probably one of the old indentured servant houses. Nothing fancy, but they were blessed to just be here in our country. And here's another one of these little houses, which now houses the men's and women's lavatories. I always think it's nicer to say that than the bathrooms. And as we get to the end of the property, we have another little house here. Oh, and here's my dad warning me that this is the carriage house. And this one I think I will film. They don't have any sign saying no photography. Oh yeah, look at this. You can see the old horse and buggies. Well, in this case, just the buggies. Really pretty. See all the rigging they needed back then for the horses? I would not want to have lived in this time. Not for very long, at least. It's a lot of work just to go anywhere. There's a second one right here. See some of the saddles for the horses. Give you guys a better view. Unfortunately, they have the wood right in the wrong place. Absolutely beautiful. Here's what looks like a smaller one. These are rickshaws. These are actually look like rickshaws. I bet they used horses on these, but you probably could easily have people pull those too. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Well, we've come to the end of this adventure today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a blessed day, everybody.